Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, the Suzuki Swift has been around forever, I think. It's certainly when I was learning to drive back in the Stone Age, this car was very, very popular. I remember when I went to college, someone passed their test and turned up in a Swift Sport. Well, it was the GTI back then, and everyone was very, very envious. It was like, how on earth have you got one of those? But many years later, I'm in the latest incarnation of the Swift Sport. So this is the 2020 model Swift Sport with hybrid system. So we're going to have a good look around the car, focus a lot on the driving experience, because the Sport is certainly about the driving experience. Have a look at the tech and just generally enjoy the car over the course of the day. So let's get going. Let's go and find some fun roads, and we'll have a good chat and learn all about the latest Swift Sport with hybrid. So the reason I'd want to get a Swift Sport over a standard Swift has to be the driving experience. So that's the handling, the performance, ultimately how it makes you feel. So up front we've got a 1.4 litre turbocharged engine, or in Suzuki language, that's a booster jet engine. I don't know whether that makes it sound more impressive. But also coupled to that, we've got a 48 kilowatt mild hybrid system. Total power, we've got 129 brake horsepower and 238 newton meters of torque. The mild hybrid system in this car has one massive benefit when it comes to performance, and that's the ability to help out the petrol engine when required. Because this is a turbocharged car, there's always going to be lag when you put your foot down. So the electric motor will help out. So under 2000 RPM, the electric motor will torque fill, then the turbocharger comes in, and then you get your full amount of power, and then you're off. For you as a driver, this gives you a smoother power delivery and just makes the car feel, well, it just feels quicker than it actually is. I love my gadgets in a car, and this Suzuki Swift does not disappoint in that way. It comes with a host of features. I know it's a couple of £1,000 more, but you do get quite a lot for your money. My sort of favourite features, we've got the adaptive cruise control, we've got blind spot monitoring, reverse parking cameras, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, traffic sign recognition. There are more than that, but it's very, very impressive and very well appointed in here. So yes, I can see where that bit of extra money has gone on this latest version of the car. So in terms of price, I think it's the monthlies like PCP that really matter, not necessarily the overall cost. So if you put down £3,129, you can then get in this car for £299 a month for 48 months. I think that's pretty good value for money. So we're heading out onto the A27. It might not be the most exciting road in the world. Well, it's not, but it gives us a chance to see what the cabin noise is like. It's just one of the real world things sometimes you might not think about. So we'll put our foot down, get up to speed. That's pretty lively. We're up at 70 mile an hour now, and I've put on the active cruise control. The difference between active cruise control and cruise control is quite significant. Cruise control, you put it at 60 or 70 miles an hour and it will keep the car at that constant rate regardless of what's happening. This, having active cruise control, takes into consideration the vehicle in front of you. So at the moment I might have it on 68 miles an hour, but the car in front of me is doing 50 something miles an hour, so it's obviously slowing me down. If I didn't have that, I'd be straight in the back of that car. Well, that's if you're stupid enough just to rely completely on gadgets. Now we're up at cruising speed. Let's see what the road noise is like. That's pretty good, to be honest. There's not too much road noise. There is some. You've got to remember this is quite a small car and it's very light, so you have got some less sound deadening maybe, but it's not unpleasant at all. A bit of road noise from the tyres, but nothing I'm unhappy with whatsoever. The revs at the moment, we're sitting at 2000 RPM, so the engine's quiet. In general, it's doing a very good job. So I think we're going to come off and head on to some more interesting roads to drive around on, as opposed to sitting on a dual carriageway. And we can see what the handling and the performance is like. This, at the end of the day, is the reason you'd want to get a car like this, is so you can do your normal boring roads, and then when you want to have some fun, find some nice twisty B roads or A roads and take it down there. Now, the reason I'd buy a Swift Sport was to have fun on these type of back roads. It has to be an exciting and engaging drive, or actually you might as well just get the standard one and save yourself some money. Now, the actual underpinning, certainly the suspension, is unique to the Sport. So it's a lot stiffer than the standard one, not uncomfortably, but enough to make it more engaging and not give you loads of body roll. The thing I love about this as well, because it hasn't got a huge amount of power, you can really work the gearbox and have some fun. It's manual, so I don't have to be going at silly speeds in order to have some excitement. So we've got a 6-speed box in here and it's pretty good, and I can really push on. I'm only doing 42 miles an hour, and yet it feels like you're going a lot quicker. I think if you had more power in this car, you just wouldn't be able to use it on these sorts of roads. It's great on open roads where you've got 300, 400, 500 brake horsepower and you can open it up. But these sort of roads where this car comes to life, you just could never use it. I think this is almost the sweet spot on these types of roads, and I can really push on. This is so much fun. What a great little car this is. You really can feel the smooth delivery of power where the hybrid is just filling in, and drop it down to third. I'm not even going quickly, like I said. This is fun. These roads are great. Not going quickly. And horses. Not actual horses, just pictures of horses. I'm enjoying this. I was concerned at first that a lack of power compared to its previous model was going to cause problems, but I don't think it has. So let's talk about the instrument pinnacle. Nothing particularly groundbreaking left or right, so we've just got speed and rev counter, but it's the bit in the middle, the new digital LCD display, that I'm interested in. And you can change what is shown on there by using the info button located on the left of the steering wheel. So at the moment we've got a digital speedo. Now this is a first for Suzuki. It's been a long time coming, but eventually we've got that there. So if I press it again, we've got things like fuel consumption, average speeds, average fuel consumption, etc. So again, nothing that exciting. But then you get to the more sporty things, so we've got like G meters, so when you're braking or accelerating, or lateral G left and right, you can see that. Not sure you'd want that on too much, but it's there. You can press it again, we can see the amount of torque I'm using, so I put my foot down, torque goes up, the power goes up. Very exciting. We've got bar charts for acceleration, the amount of boost on turbo. So the bit I'm most interested in terms of the display has to be the screen showing what is happening with the hybrid system. So at the moment I can see that I'm using just the petrol, so there's a picture of the motor and red arrows going out, which means it's driving the wheels. If I put my foot down a bit more, the electric engine says, hello, I'm here, I can help out, and put some more power in, which is great. And then when you ease off and you're coasting, for example, like now I've just taken my foot off the accelerator completely, it's recharging the batteries. Very clever, very, very clever indeed. And it's something I love about this sort of hybrid system, is you don't need to worry about plugging it into the mains. I've really enjoyed driving this car. It's been great fun. The cabin is lovely, and the lack of power doesn't seem to matter. It is a great fun little car to drive. I like the interior, so we're going to go and park up and we'll have a look around the outside and some of the practicality that this Suzuki Swift Sport has to offer. Well, I didn't manage to find anywhere too scenic to pull over, so I've come back to the dealership and I'm going to show you around the outside of this Swift. So if we look at the front, where do we start? Well, start down here. This, we've got some fake carbon fibre, or carbon fibre effects we should call it, strips running across here, and also a splitter across the bottom. LED headlights, and just under here you'll probably see we've got daytime running lights and the fog lights. So at the front it looks very, very familiar to a normal Swift, but just a bit more aggressive. I love this paint colour as well. Looks really, really smart. So going around the side, this has got the 17-inch diamond cut alloys on it, and they look really smart. I do like them a lot. The one thing they've actually added here at the dealership, I can't remember exact price, it's like £200 or £300. These strips that run round, you can see here, they protect the alloy. So if you do curb your alloy, instead of having to fork out hundreds and hundreds of pounds or get a new alloy completely, they can pull this rubber strip off and put a new one on. So definitely worthwhile putting on your car. We've got carbon fibre effect side skirts running down here. Oh, so dirty. Oh, they valeted it lovely earlier on, and I've been driving around and now it's absolutely covered. I love the side of it. Also with this you've got keyless entry, so just key in your pocket and just press that. Opens up. Something that is, well, it's just standard across all of them is the door handle for the rear. It's up here. Just gives it a different sort of floating roof effect. I think that was what they were going for, but it looks pretty nice. So from the rear we've got probably the most important bit. We've got a couple of real exhaust. Yeah, none of that fake tip rubbish going on. And again, a carbon fibre effect rear diffuser. And then here as well we've got sensors for the reversing camera, or reversing sensors, sorry. But it looks pretty smart. I mean, hybrid badge, just in case you didn't notice. I like that. I think it's a really smart city looking car. Such crease and curves you can possibly see down here. But I just like it. I think it's a good looking car. So boot wise as well, let's open that up. We'll get the key even first of all, and we'll open that. We've got average boot size, is nothing particularly groundbreaking there. You'd fit your shopping in. You may struggle if you had a couple of suitcases, but yeah, that's quite reasonable. So in the back of the car, let's hop in, see how much room we've got in here. So, I left my driver's seat exactly where I be. I'm 6 foot, so I can't quite get my knees behind, but I can get them either side. So you'd fit 2 adults in the back. There's physically 3 seat belts, so maybe 3 children in the back, definitely not 3 adults. That would be incredibly uncomfortable. Plenty of headroom as well, that's quite impressive. But it's quite nice in the back here. I like that. I'd rather be in the front though, so I'm definitely going to be heading that way. So my final thoughts on this car. When I started researching about it, I was a bit concerned. It was more expensive, it was heavier, slower, and had Suzuki gone backwards with this latest Swift Sport? Well, on paper, yes, they had. But having had it for a few hours, I think it is a very, very good car. On paper it is slower, but I don't think it actually feels slower. I think the power delivery is smoother. When I was taking it down the back roads, I could really fling it around, and the setup was great, and you don't have to be driving at silly speeds in order to have fun. More power probably would have actually meant less fun. Price wise, yes, it's a bit more, but you do get more. And if you're paying for it monthly, it's not going to work out much more expensive. So the best thing really is give Suzuki in Worthing a ring and say you'd like to come down and test drive this car or any of their other cars and try it for yourself. I think you'll be very impressed with this little Swift. Anyway guys, on that note, I'm going to call this video to a close. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Comments are always welcome, and remember to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.